We're doing a dedicated review, everyone, and this time we're doing a scent from Memo Paris. And we're doing Memo Paris's Madurai. This one has been a lot of buzz, a lot of traction here on YouTube, and I'm ready to share my thoughts on it. Let's get on into it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This time Marie here. Yes, we're talking about Memo Paris's Madurai. Now, this fragrance is interesting to me because it's a peach fragrance, but it's not your typical peach fragrance, and I'm gonna talk more about that as we get into it. But as always, when it comes to dedicated fragrance reviews, I rate fragrances by 5 categories. I'm still getting used to saying that. So the first category is mood, and that's simply, when do I see myself wearing this fragrance? What time of year? What type of event? What type of environment? We talk about it there. Second category is strength, and that's on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being this ain't nothing but water in a pretty bottle, to 10 being this is nuclear powerhouse juice. Third category is longevity. How many hours long lasting is this fragrance? Can I still smell it after I sprayed it? Fourth category is this a compliment getting fragrance? Do people like this on me? Yes or no? Then the fifth category, which is the newest category, is what does this scent compare to? What does it remind me of? We talk about it there because I recognize a lot of y'all like a good comparison to get an idea of a scent, especially if you haven't smelled it, and especially when we talk about niche fragrances are a little bit more harder to come by. So I totally understand that. That's why we added that comparison category. So all right, lipstick of the day today, everyone. I'm already kind of in the fall mood. I went fuchsia today, and this is from Pat McGrath Labs, and this is Extravaganza. Y'all, this lipstick is starting to crumble because I have beat this thing down. I love this color so much, but it's a beautiful blue-based fuchsia. Pink is what it is. I'll have it linked below. And as always, if it's been discontinued, I also try to link alternatives just in case, because I recognize some of my lipsticks were limited edition and things. So yeah. Next up, we have fragrance of the day, and of course, since we're talking dedicated review, it's always going to be the belle of the ball, and that is this beauty right here, Madurai. So yeah, that is your fragrance of the day, and let's talk more about her. So this fragrance was released in 2022, so it's not a new fragrance, new-ish, but not new, especially not by today's standards, because you blink and something new comes out. Again, this is a niche fragrance because it's from Memo Paris. And here's the backstory on this fragrance. I smelled Memo Paris Madurai back in, was it January or February? I did a video on it back when I went fragrance shopping, and I spent the most time at the Memo Paris counter. And for me, it was something about Madurai that stood out. Luckily, I got a sample of it. I played in that sample on it. I talked about it in a sampling series video here on the channel. The sample got upgraded to a full-size bottle, and that is how we are here. So as always, concentration of this fragrance is an eau de parfum, which they have it right in the middle of the bottle. By the way, I like this spirally design they have, and you can actually see your juice in the back. So it's not fully transparent. I think a little bit more, you know, translucent, shall we say, but yeah. You can actually see your juice. It has a slight tinge of orange to it, in my opinion. So let's get into the notes for Memo Paris Madurai, everyone. So we have notes of lemon essence, bergamot essence. We have curcuma essence. We have clary sage. We have peach, and then we have heart notes, y'all, of jasmine sandbag, tuberose absolute. Then we have jasmine absolute. We have taguette essence, and then base notes, y'all. We have our sandalwood. Then we have suede as well, and they have an intensity on here. This is per Memo, not me, as being a 3 out of 4 in their category, so it's pretty intense. But they emphasize that the main notes are Indian turmeric, jasmine sandbag, and peach. Those are what are the most prominent notes per them, but of course I'm gonna tell you what I get from the fragrance, because that's the point of doing a dedicated review. So okay, y'all, let's talk about sizing and pricing. So one thing about this fragrance, what you see is what you get, because it only comes in this one size, y'all. So the bottle size is 75 milliliters, and it retails for $310. But of course, being that this is no longer a brand new release, you can get it for a discount and or sale at a lot of different places. So I definitely will link it below as always. So now let's talk about what I actually get from this fragrance, like when I smell it. Now that we've already gone through the notes and specs and things, let me tell you something. The turmeric in here is extremely prominent, and in fact, the turmeric is what makes this fragrance really stand out, because when I think of turmeric, I think of cooking. Like, that's like a cooking ingredient, and no, you don't smell it every day, not in fragrances. The turmeric hits you in the nose, like it straight up hits your nose, hits your face, everything. Then you get that jasmine to me. Then over time, in my opinion, the peach doesn't really come out until you wear it on your skin, because when I first smelled it, I was like, okay, this is definitely unique. It is a niche fragrance, because I don't smell nothing like this every day, right? But then it took me playing in my sample of it to really get the peach note that I'm supposed to get from it, and so then it came out. And the peach is a well-balanced peach to me on the skin. It's not too sweet, it's not too bitter, in my opinion. So that's what I get from the fragrance. Oh, and by the way, the intensity of it, well, we'll get into that because I have my own rating system, as y'all know. So let's get into the rating system, y'all. The mood of this fragrance, I finally figured out the mood of this scent because a little bit of trial and error here. So this is a transitional fragrance, Madurai, y'all, and I'm explaining what I mean. So meaning this is great going from winter into spring. And in my opinion, as you're starting to have cooler weather, late summer going into fall. And I'm explaining why I say that, because this is a fragrance going back to when I first smelled it. It was at the end of the winter time and we was about to head into spring, and I absolutely love this fragrance. I was wearing my sample and even my bottle because I got it in the springtime. Loved it for that cooler air type of situation, right? However, y'all, I decided to wear Madurai here in the dead of summer, so August, July, right? Dead of summer, hot summer. Y'all know I'm in Tennessee. And let me tell you something, this overpowered me. I said, oh no, this ain't a summer scent at all. This is not a high heat scent. So if you live somewhere where it's very hot, no. It has to have some cooler weather. It has to be some crispness to the air. It can't be straight up sun and humidity or it won't work. So let me say that. I found it out the hard way. So again, mood of this fragrance, transitional scent, very good for in between weather when it's like, I kind of don't know what I want to do. It fits the bill because it has a lot going on in it. Next up, we have strength, y'all. In the strength category, let me tell you, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is an 8. Solid 8 of a fragrance, because again, I'm gonna tell you right now, it is the turmeric that screams and is loud. She is present, let me tell you. And also for that reason, because of this being more unique and it is being loud, this is not a safe blind buy at all, at all. I know when we hear peaches in a fragrance, we tend to get excited. You can't treat this fragrance like that because this is not peach rings. This is not that. And it's loud too. So this can overpower somebody if you are not ready for it. So again, get a sample like I did for sure. And again, that strength is an 8. Next up, we have longevity. I know this is everyone's favorite category. And let me tell you something, it does perform on average. No matter my sprays, I get about 6 hours out of it. So it's good. I get essentially almost a full day out of it. And then if I need to retouch it, say maybe you getting in from work and you have to go to like an after work event type of thing, then okay, you might spray 1 or 2 sprays just to touch up on your pulse points. But do you need to do a full bathing in it again? No, you don't. Because you can still smell it. It might be a little softer after 6 hours, but you can still smell it. It's about a skin scent at that point. I'm pleased with the performance out of this fragrance because again, she loud. Speaking of what I classify as fragrance, unisex, feminine, masculine, whatnot. In my opinion, this is unisex, but to me, it still leans slightly feminine because of the dry down, because it turns sweeter because of that peach. So for that reason, unisex leaning feminine. I just also want to address it because I recognize some people ask me that sometimes. So I always want to address that too. Next up, is this fragrance a compliment getting fragrance? And yes, it is. This one gets compliments and it has to be in the cooler weather. Let me say that again. Cooler weather, this gets compliments because it leaves a scent trail. One thing about Memo, their fragrances do pack a punch and you're going to smell them. So no issues with performance there. I have like 6 Memo Paris fragrances and Madurai is no exception to that rule. People gonna smell it, it's gonna leave a trail, and it is unique. So you do get a compliment for that reason. And last category, does this compare to anything? Does it remind me of anything else in my collection? So here is the thing. It's not so much that it compares to something else, but it's the note. So I'm gonna say this, for my people that love the note of jasmine, and in particular, there's one designer fragrance house that seems to have a monopoly on jasmine, and that is Mugler, their Alien line. This right here is Alien Goddess, the intense version. And this was the only fragrance in my collection that I like had a similar note of jasmine in it to me. Because as we know, Alien, the original Alien especially, is what really put jasmine on the map, it seems like. Don't get me wrong, of course, jasmine, the floral, has existed forever, but it's something about that particular fragrance. It's like that's when everybody knew what jasmine was. So their particular strand of jasmine, you do smell it. Of course, in Alien Goddess Intense, you got like coconut, and it's more of on the sunscreen solar thing, amber. But the jasmine note is in here that I do kind of, that sticks out, that kind of does pull in the Madurai. However, Madurai is super unique because again, that peach and most importantly, that turmeric. So if, yes, this is a jasmine based fragrance too, but the jasmine isn't the most prominent note. And I just want to emphasize that a lot. But I will say, if you like jasmine and say like the Alien lines and whatnot, then I do recommend checking out Madurai if you want that jasmine with a twist. So that's why I say it's more so the Alien line as a whole that all have jasmine. So not necessarily this particular fragrance. fragrance. I just want to emphasize that. So all right, everyone, that is my dedicated review on Memo Paris Madurai. So this is one I do enjoy. I just can't wear it right now like I really want to, because yeah, it almost choked me out when I wore it in super hot weather. And we are starting to transition because it is September when I'm filming this, but it's still in the early part of September. I need this to be in late part of September before I can really go back to bathing in her like I want to. But yes, Madurai, super unique, super unique. No other fragrance in my collection. I have a ton of fragrances, you know, just off the strength of being a reviewer and all that, and a collector in general. No other fragrance in my collection has turmeric. So for that reason alone, Madurai sticks out and is worth it in my opinion. So let me know what you think about Madurai. Have you smelled it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Was it a love? Was it a hate? Have you sampled it? Let me know in the comments below. And yes, I will definitely read your comments and respond when I can. All right, y'all. I will catch you in the next video. Bye, y'all.